Hello, I'm Deborah Shipley, and welcome to the REcolorado MLS podcast, where we talk all things MLS and how they fit into the real estate market. On this episode, we'll be interviewing Tully, the Director of Product Management at REcolorado, to learn about REcolorado Media Bridge. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the REcolorado Podcast. Today, we have with us a very special guest from our Product and Information Technology team. It is Tully, and he is the Director of Product Management here at REcolorado. Tommy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you as on our first episode of 2023.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. So we have you here today to talk a little bit about a new product that has been in the works here at REcolorado throughout the second part of 2022. And the product has been named Media Bridge, but we need a little bit more information about it. So, Tommy, why don't you tell us a little bit about what is Media Bridge?
Sure. Media Bridge is a solution to a problem that we heard from a lot of our brokers and our agents and photographers as well, that the upload of photos into our MLS system had a lot to be desired. And we have really worked this last year on creating a very efficient way for vendors to assist in uploading these photos, adding virtual tours, adding all kinds of media into a listing that is as painless as possible. Our focus has really been on efficiency and saving time for a lot of our agents that typically would have to manually go through a lot of different photos. This process will automate a lot of that, and so far we've had some great feedback from people that we've shown this to.
Okay, so break this down for us a little bit more. So I am out at a listing. I get photos taken of the listing. I am possibly working with a vendor to also get a virtual tour. And typically I would get those photos, or my assistant would get those photos, and then I would need to unzip them and then upload them into the REcolorado MLS system. It takes quite a while. I mean, those photos are bulky. So talk to me a little bit about what is it going to look like if I'm using this Media Bridge to get my photos and virtual tours?
Yeah, great. So as you described, typically now the photographer will send a big zip file that you have to open up on your laptop or your computer, and you'll have to take those photos and manually, one by one, add them to the listing. This saves, the main step this will save is having to do that unzipping. So the photographer will submit a proposal and a package of photos, and it will have all the photos in one place where you can go in as an agent and rearrange the photos. You can add captions to the photos. You can reject some that maybe you didn't like the way this was taken. Maybe the resolution wasn't so great. You could also move photos around and prioritize which ones are first. And then you submit them all at once into the listing, into the MLS. So you don't have to worry about one by one. You also it doesn't take any room on your computer, so you don't have to store all those photos and then wonder about, well, when should I delete those? They are always on the listing in the system, in our Media Bridge, and then once they go into the listing, we save that throughout the life cycle of the listing. So if you want to go back and make changes, you want to add some more photos, like you mentioned, maybe as an agent, I took a few photos and I want to use some of those, I could go back in and swap some of those out. So it's a very interactive experience, and it's all designed to save time, both on the photographer's side, but especially on the agent side, that you do it all at one time, and you send it off, and it's done.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So I'll get an email as an agent that says, hey, my vendor has prepared a media package for me. It'll give me a link.
Right.
I'll go to this great portal, be able to do all this rearranging, editing, even captioning, and then I'll get to say, okay, now it's ready. and they get uploaded right into REcolorado Matrix.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. So you mentioned that you heard these pain points from customers and you have involved customers in developing MediaBridge. Talk a little bit more about how did REcolorado subscribers, agents, brokers, admins, how did they get involved in helping to develop this offering?
Yeah. We have several avenues that we're always asking for feedback. So as an agent, you may receive surveys. We may ask you to participate in a special kind of survey if we're thinking about something. Also, whenever you're interacting with our staff, so we a lot of times will go to conferences, to meetings, things like that. Feel free to always to grab one of us and say, hey, I've got an idea. This is a pain point. We have an amazing customer success team, and with calls that we get for support through our training exercises, we do get feedback. And typically, things like this, that there is a pain point, they kind of float to the surface. And so we're always in that mode of listening and saying, hey, how can we solve this problem? And we have multiple ways that we can get that feedback, but we have to hear it, right?
Yeah, that's great. And it's really refreshing I think it's refreshing and wonderful that REcolorado we're really getting out and we're talking to our customers. And I thought it was really interesting how we had both vendors, so the actual photographers and those who were shooting the virtual tours, they came in and actually tested the product along with our subscribers. What kind of feedback did you get from them when they were in looking at the product?
Yeah, we had a really great group of people come in. Their feedback was, the main feedback we got was how they could see this being so much easier for their agents, because so many times they're having to send these bulky emails. Emails are so large, they don't get through. And they felt like from them producing their product, which they're selling to the agent, that this would give them a much better opportunity to showcase what they're doing in their work and make it much easier for the agent to be able to do their job. So they felt like this was a win-win situation. It helped them out and also gave them a little more professional presentation to the agent as well than just having a file full of folders, a folder full of photos.
Now, when you had the photo vendors in to take a look at the MediaBridge offering, did you get a feel for how many are going to be using it? 'Cause I imagine a question on the minds of our listeners and viewers is, well, is my partner going to be using that?
Yeah, we had all the photographers that came in had, there are a couple of themes that came out of that feedback session. One was, where has this been for the last year or two? They were all very impressed with the ease of use and I guess the intuitive nature of it. We did ask that question, how could you see the agents reacting to this? And hands down, they said this will change everything. That their feedback from agents has always been how much time it takes for them to go through. And they said a lot of times they get calls on, hey, I can't unzip that file, it's too large. I accidentally deleted that, can you send it again? So their support of that process, they felt like that would be a much better process overall, that they would get a lot fewer calls trying to resend things and try things again when the portal is there and always available.
So now will agents and offices be able to reach out and ask their photo vendors to use MediaBridge?
Absolutely. We are starting very soon a beta project where we're starting out with just a few vendors to start to test the product. And so far, we also reached out to some agents, had them come look at it. They were all, amazed by it. I could see the wheels turning when we were asking them questions, how much time this was going to save them. And ultimately, that's what it's all about, really. It's making it something more efficient and save time for them. But as we roll this out further, I don't see anybody not wanting to use this product. It is really going to be a revolutionary way to manage your listings. And the other part of this is if you want to reach out to your vendor, you don't have to necessarily email them. You could create in the system a message for them to say, hey, can you reshoot the photos now the snow's melted, or now that the flowers have bloomed, can you go take some more photos? You can do all that back and forth through this tool, and they can then resubmit those photos into the package, and then you can go and grab those and update the listing as many times as you want through the life cycle of that listing.
So you mentioned we're going to start a beta really soon, which is kind of a limited release to just work out the bugs and any kinks that we might find. When do you think that it might be available more broadly for all REcolorado subscribers?
Yeah, we're focusing on Q1 of really kind of getting all the bugs worked out. So hopefully by Q2, we'll be able to open this up for a lot more people to use. A lot of the feedback we received already, we've implemented. We have an amazing development team, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback. So the system works well now, but like you said, there's a lot of fine-tuning. We want to make sure that whoever uses it, that it's intuitive, easy to use. The technical aspects, all the engine and the back end is all working fine. It's just those tweaks to say, is it obvious that I'm doing a certain activity, and the messaging around that feedback. So I would expect the next few months we'll have this much larger release, and then once we do that, we'll communicate that to all of our subscribers and our vendors as well, so they can start to use this and partner. I think once you go into this media bridge process, there won't be any going back, I think.
Well, I certainly hope so. And you mentioned something that I think I just want to point out, and that's that we actually at REcolorado, our folks were the actual developers of this tool,
Right.
yeah. And that brings so many benefits in that we call it iterate in the more technical term, but we can apply enhancements more quickly because of that. We can take feedback from our customers and make changes pretty quickly. Am I understanding that right?
Absolutely. We had, as you mentioned, we had a experience with some agents and with some photographers that came in and turned right around and made changes based on that. So we are in a very agile way able to update. So as we find feedback from our agents and from our photographers, hey, can you add that feature? You know, it would be great if you could do X, Y, or Z. We do have the ability to integrate that and respond to that rather quickly. So yeah, we are producing it 100% in-house. So it's our unique offering. It's very exciting to launch something brand new in the brand new year.
It is. It is something that I'm really excited about marketing, I have to tell you. So, outside of virtual tours and photos, there are other things that get uploaded to listing. Do you see MediaBridge ever providing the ability for the upload of other sorts of documents or information?
Absolutely. That was one of the first questions that some of the agents that we had come in asked. Hey, what about those PDFs? What about those floor plans? What about those other things? The sky's the limit. I think, as you mentioned, we developed this in-house, so we have the ability to add whatever we want. I think as we build off of the photography and the virtual tours, there's no reason we couldn't also upload other types of documentation, video or whatever else, as the need changes. Again, it's great to have this feedback loop with our agents and our photographers directly to us to say, hey, this would be a great feature. We can definitely turn around and add that in a pretty quick manner.
Yeah, so developing it in-house, it really does give us much more capability to make changes and to respond to feedback. I think it also means that we can make this product available to our subscribers as part of their REcolorado subscription. So it's a core product where we're not going to charge anything additional for an REcolorado subscription. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. This will be part of all the other tools we provide. This will be an additional tool that will, again, save time and really improve our efficiency, but all included in that subscription.
Okay, and so I think probably our listeners and our viewers are thinking, when this is ready, I want my photo vendor to sign up. So how would I do that?
So as we launch, we will include information on how to reach out to us. It will be an application from the agent to say, hey, I want my vendor a part of it. Here's the information. We'll contact them, and we'll provide training resources on how to use the program and give them the information. It'll be a very collaborative effort, I think, with the agent and the photography vendor to have that conversation. But absolutely, once we start that, all that will be sent out in our information, hopefully, like I said, next quarter, for you to sign up and sign up your photo vendors as well.
Tommy, I want to thank you so much for being the first guest of 2023 on the REcolorado podcast. The information technology and product teams have worked so hard in developing this product, and I, as the marketer for REcolorado, I'm so excited to get out and talk about it and get more resources out there. I hope that many of you will be chomping at the bit to learn more about MediaBridge, so make sure you're reading your emails and you're checking in on the professionals blog, blog.recolorado.com. And thanks again, Tommy, and thank you for listening to the REcolorado podcast.
Thank you.